Welcome to the Neo Operational Video Series for Software version 3.7. These videos are designed for targeted instructions to get you up to speed quickly and simply. This video targets queue time. So queue time determines the time at which the queue takes to complete from hitting the go button to start the queue to the completion of the fade. So queue time can be simple or it can be a little more complex. So let's start with just doing channel 1 at full, record to make Q1. Now there's a default queue time. We can go into our system properties, and it doesn't matter if you're in advanced mode. That would be in show defaults for queue time and downtime, or if you're in basic mode, then here in the show defaults you have queue time or downtime. So those both can be set, and they're both currently set for 3 seconds, and notice they can be set differently from each other. So I'm going to hit OK, and we can see we recorded Q1 and it is a time of 3. Now if I want to change that time to say be a time of 2, because I'm soaking in Q1 or I'm active in Q1, I can just say Q time, and notice it put the 1 for me on the command line because that's the queue that I'm in, and I'm just going to say 2 enter, and that will give us a time of 2. Now you can also do time in point values, so I could say time 2.5, or I could say queue time of 2.25. So you can get down to a hundredth of a second. I'm going to put it back at 2. Now I'm going to take channel 1 out and bring up channel 2 and record for Q2. So now we're going to talk about split times, or giving a different time to the up values as you would give to the down values. This can give you a much more dynamic transition between queues. So we're soaking in Q2, and I'm going to say queue time 1, and I'm going to hit the time button again, and that'll put a slash on your command line, allowing you to set the downtime. So I'm going to say time 1, time 5, enter on Q2. If you look at your queue banner in the sidebar, you'll see that the up is in 1, the down is in 5. I'm going to hit stop back to go back to Q1, and we're going to hit go, and I'd like you to watch channels 1 and 2, and you'll see that channel 2 comes up in the 1 count, channel 1 goes out in the 5 count. So that's how you do split times. Now we've been dealing with changing time on the current queue. What if you want to change time on a non-live queue? Let's say I want to change the time on Q1 right now while I'm in Q2. I can do that, but instead of just doing queue time, I need to do Q and then the number. In that case, it will be 1, and I'll do time 10, enter, and that will change it on time 10. Now, just so that we have more queues in the queue list, I'm going to hit record a couple of more times so that we have 4 queues, and we're going to look at changing time for multiple queues at once. So I'm going to say Q3 through 4, time 8, enter, and that will change the time on a range of queues. I'm also going to talk about changing time in a relative manner. So let's look at Q4, and it's I don't really care what count it is, I just want it to be 2 counts longer. So I'm going to say queue time plus 2, enter, and now that's gone. Q4 has gone from an 8 count to a 10 count. Alright, I also want to talk about attribute family timing. In order to do that, we will need to patch up some sort of an attributed fixture. So we're just going to patch up a moving light so that we can see all of this. So I'll go into the Philips Vari-Lite world. I'm going to grab a VL1100 arc shutter ERS, and I'm just going to patch this up as channel 101 starting at universe 2.1. Do I want all the palettes? I'm going to say no for this, and I can go to DMX2 and see that's patched. So now we'll go back to live. We'll say yes, we want to save. And now we can see we have fixture 101 patched, which is Vari-Lite, and we can see all the parameters down here in our attribute window. Again, we're only doing this to talk about timing for the moment. So for Q4, what we want to do is grab fixture 101. We want to turn it on. What we're going to do is change position values. We're going to change color values. We're going to change gobo information, and we're going to change zoom information. So we've got something changing in each family, and we're going to update Q4. We can see the blue is showing changed information in the attribute window. So let's say I want to make the position time, all the movement happen in a 2 count. So I'm going to say Q time, and that's time for the entire queue. I'll hit time again. That'll get me down time. I'm going to hit time one more time, and that's going to get me position time. So we're going to say position time 2. And now I'm going to hit stop back, and we're going to run this queue, and we'll see that the base time of the queue is 10. However, pan and tilt all happened in a 2 count. So let's say we want to change color. So I'm going to say Q time, hit it until I get to color time. We're going to make that a 5 count. And let's go ahead and do some of this other while we're here. I'll do beam time at 8, and we'll do edge time at 1. So if we do a step back and go, we can see, actually I think the problem there was, of course, it's marking. So here I'm going to grab 101. We're going to put it at a value of 1% to override, to sort of cheat the move in black. We'll update Q only to keep the value going to 100% in the next queue. And now we'll hit go, and pan and tilt happens in its 2 count. Intensity still moving in 10. The gobo has happened in the faster count. The zoom has happened in the faster count. We get a little flag that says AFT for attribute family timing on the queue. And if we want to see the details of that, we can just click on the queue number, and a pop-out window appears for lots of information about the queue: description, timing information, how it's triggered, and then we have a attribute family timing window where we can see what that information is, and in fact you can even change it here. You can also add in delays, which is very useful, because you may want color to move in 5, but maybe you want to have a 5 count delay before it starts moving. So all of that's available here. And we'll hit stop back, we'll hit go to run this queue, and now you'll see the change we made is that color waits 5 and then starts its 5 count fade. So there's a lot of dynamic transitional work that can be done with timing. I very much recommend you explore that because a dynamic transition between one queue and another is much more interesting than just a straight transition. So thanks for watching this Neo operational video for software version 3.7. Go to the Phillips Strand website at www.strandline.com for many more videos on neo programming and operation.